Hello and welcome to New Mexico Media Makers, where we focus on the people who create film, television, and new media right here in New Mexico. I'm your host, Catherine Palafis, and with me is always my co-host, Mike Aba. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what was your name again?
Haha.
Okay.
Today we're excited to welcome our first guest, local producer, and Enter the Dojo star, Matthew Page. Thank you for joining us today, Matt.
Hello, Master.
Thank you
Is that
for
official?
having
Is that
me.
how we do that?
Not at all.
Wow,
more
show
of
me
a-
up, why don't you, man?
That's
Okay.
more of a namaste, kind of like a yoga thing.
Like a yoga thing.
Yeah, yeah. And in Kempo, you would put one hand over the other like this. You bow like
Does
this.
it matter what hand you're holding?
It does, left over right.
Left over right.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a real stickler for details there, aren't you?
Sorry to correct you right off the bat, but you asked.
I told you not to bring him.
Oh, he's got the look in his eye. I thought I saw some Master Ken happening just
There's a
then.
little flicker. We're shooting tomorrow, so I'm kind of like, I've got it in the back of my mind that I have to play Master Ken tomorrow.
Is it kind of like a split personality thing that comes out and you've created a show to support that and it's becoming wildly popular?
I would say that it's a channel for an aggressive part of my personality. I don't normally get to speak the way Master Ken speaks to people, and so it's an outlet for me. That's what I like about it.
What is Enter the Dojo?
Enter the Dojo is a comedic web series. Whenever I say web series, I end up having to further explain for people who haven't seen them. It's sort of like independent television. It's an episodic show that's on YouTube. And ours, the way we describe it, is it's a show that is very much like The Office meets Karate Kid. The premise is like a documentary crew is following this bizarre character named Master Ken who has decided that everybody else's martial art is a waste of time, so he has created his own fictional martial art called the Meridote, and he has a small group of students that don't know any better, so they keep taking classes from him, and he just sort of runs them through the ringer every week with a new bizarre kind of activity.
So did this birth out of karate lessons gone wrong growing up? How did this come to be?
I actually get asked that a lot, and some of the most bizarre things about the show are true. I've studied a whole bunch of dojos all over the country, and one particular time I actually went to a dojo that had what they called an event called groin sparring, and you were only allowed to win the fight by grabbing the other person's groin, and then they made me fight a woman. And that was my first fight. I had to fight a woman, and I remember after that thinking someone else might think that's funny. So I started writing them down. But I had all these stories in my head for years, and eventually just decided to make a show about it.
And are we allowed to ask who won that?
Oh, she won. She was very aggressive.
On that note.
We dated for 2 years.
Oh, love it first grab.
Ba-dum-bum.
Well, let's roll that clip of Dojo.
Yes, okay. So we have a clip from episode 1.
All right, let's say some guy gets up in your face in the street, sticks his finger out, puts it in your chest. Here's what you do. You're gonna secure the wrist, then you're gonna break the finger. Break the wrist, break the elbow, break the jaw, smash the groin, break the nose, break the knee, break the ribs, re-stomp the groin, knee drop the pelvis, kick the head, stomp the head, stomp the back of the neck, re-stomp the
What location do
groin,
you get to use for this?
and exit out.
Where?
Then if you have anything in your pockets, you can use to hit him, stab him, whatever. Yes.
Is that really necessary?
Well, no, if you don't have anything in your pockets, you just drive over him when you
No,
leave
no,
him.
no, no. The whole thing seems a little excessive. The guy gets in your face, and so you basically disable him for life.
Hopefully. But I tell you what, while he's in the hospital, you're at home with your family.
Until you're on trial for attempted murder.
Better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
What if he was asking for directions?
Then he should have asked from across the street.
It's like the anchorman of the martial arts world.
Go ahead and practice that.
Funny stuff.
Thank you.
So how does a series like this, how is it made? What kind of budget were you working with trying to get this off the ground?
In terms of budget, we don't really have a lot of cash. But we have some equipment. We have some people who are willing to show up. I sort of asked a few local actors that I knew that were talented that I wanted to work with. Some I had worked with before, some I hadn't. And a buddy of mine, Joe Conway, who has a dojo called ABQ Karate. He's an actual black belt, and I've worked out with him, and he owns the space we shoot in. So he agreed to donate that, and we just showed up, and for a weekend we shot like 3 or 4 episodes and just sort of pieced them together, put them online to see if anybody would like them, and they did. So the more attention we get and the more fans we get, the more episodes we make.
So you have become popular and have taken this show out of the context of New Mexico. Where have you, tell us about the places you've gone with the show.
Yeah, we've had some luck. We have almost 17,000 YouTube subscribers. We have over 2.5 million YouTube views. We've done live shows. We're getting ready to do for the 2nd year, a live show in California for a pretty big audience of martial artists, which is probably the toughest audience we can do because they have the power to kill us. But they're all really great sports. They love that we make fun of what they do because you have to take martial arts very seriously. But we have fans. I get emails from fans in just all over the world, in Australia, New Zealand, in Russia, all over the world.
What do they like to tell you about the show?
You know, a lot of them, sometimes they'll just send emails about just supporting what we do. Others are death threats. Mostly positive, though.
Is there a possibility for Enter the Dojo film?
Oh, we would love to do a movie. I think we've talked about it numerous times. I think the only thing that we sort of, that keeps us from doing it is that in order to do a movie, we probably couldn't do the movie and the show at the same time. So we would hate to go dark for like a year and a half just making the movie. We don't really want to make fans wait that long. So that's sort of the thing we're trying to decide. So we're getting ready for a season 3. And maybe after season 3, we'll talk about a movie. You
could build your fan base like in Arrested Development, get us all excited, come up with a movie.
It could be. It may just make them hungry for more, you know?
Yes.
But I obsessively check the subscribers and YouTube views every day, and I can't get enough views. And so we got to release more material all the time.
So have you felt some flexibility and true creative power here in New Mexico as a filmmaker? Being able to have over 2.5 million views and get out of New Mexico, what's it been like to film your show here? And what's your future as a filmmaker here?
Well, New Mexico's been really good to me. I went to film school here, got my film degree here. I got into SAG acting in films and television shows here. I've had a great experience with the film community. I love doing the 48 Hour every year. I've met a lot of the people I work with now through things like that. And the creative freedom is the reason I do it. You know, I love that I can write something, direct it, choose to act in it or not, just cast my friends, and that I can put it together and put it out to the audience without having to really vet it, without having to ask for permission, without having to really ask for, granted we don't have much money, but I feel like you kind of trade that off for the creativity and being able to express yourself however you want. And we've quite honestly maybe produced a better project that way because we get to do whatever we think is funny. We don't have to get that approved by anybody. If we think it's funny, it goes in the show. And I like that sort of instant gratification too of like shooting an episode, editing it, and just putting it out. We used to do short films, and you'd shoot something, edit it over 3 or 4 months, go on the festival circuit for a year and a half, 2 years for one 10-minute movie. Now we can create a new show on a weekly basis if we want and get it out to thousands of people. What's the dream for Dojo? I would just love to keep doing Dojo and have like a sponsor or have an audience that is so big that the show, you know, really yields a kind of profit where we can pay everybody. Pretty much everybody involved in the show puts in time for free. They put in time for the love of the show, for the fans. We do this because we love making people laugh. We love entertaining people. If we could make that our full-time job, I would be thrilled with that. Would you keep it in New Mexico if those opportunities came your way? Absolutely. I would love to keep it. Yeah, I love being in New Mexico. I love filming in New Mexico. I would jump at the chance to keep making that show or even another show here. Well, now as an actor, are you ever afraid of being typecast as Dojo? I have to say that it has crossed my mind that I might. I've been working at developing a couple of other things, characters that are not like Master Ken at all, because I realize that may be maybe the only way certain people see me. However, since I don't really look or talk like Ken, I think that does actually work for me. When I go into audition for movies and television shows, nobody ever says, "Oh, you're Master Ken."
Could you do like a twist on Medea and be like Master Ken's mom?
That would be. I'm open to drag for the craft.
For the crafts.
Yeah, for the
Season
craft.
3.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
We learned that, you know, another difference between you and Master Ken is the mustache.
Yes.
He instantly grows his.
Instantly, and it's really when people have met me and they want me to do a Master Ken impression, it just doesn't quite play. I need the uniform, the hair done a certain way, the mustache, the eyebrow, and then once that all comes together, then it's Master Ken. But if any one of those elements is missing, it doesn't really play.
Do you find that people in the business, in the world, take themselves a little too seriously? I mean, are they seeing the humor in all this?
Some do, some don't. We've had some people who have messaged us and said, "Oh, thank you for making a spoof of the martial arts world. You know, my instructors talk like this guy. You know, like we laugh so hard at this because I've said that in class, and that's really great." When we started making fun of the ninjutsu community, we didn't realize how serious some of those folks were. So Master Ken, at a certain point, did receive some death threats. But they're
Nothing he couldn't handle.
they're probably not serious. I imagine the most dangerous ninjas aren't on YouTube, but maybe they are.
They're right behind your shoulder. I mean, they're just, you know, magical.
It actually makes me nervous when you say they're right behind my shoulder. Just for a second, I have a flash of a ninja actually beheading me on television.
Do you find yourself looking behind yourself all the time when you're driving along?
No, I'm actually, you know, for the most part, people love the show, and people have been really supportive of it, and so I'm not worried yet.
Could you do me a big favor and like just do some moves on Catherine here? Just vent my frustrations.
Let's cut to commercial.
Is that
and
your idea?
practice
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What about your
Mike
craft?
loves a good show. So,
I can tell.
Matt, we really want you to keep making your films and your work here, and wish the best to Dojo.
That's the plan. Thank you very much, and I hope to be doing it for a long time.
Right here.